The Gun Bunch X Nasty is the predominant meta in Madden 26. So many players are running either the New York Jets or the Jacksonville Jaguars offense because they have this formation and so many other formations that you can audible into. The most recent MCS Most Feared tournament was dominated by this formation as a base, with audible outs to bunch tight end or doubles flex Y off close, depending on the offense. So make sure that you guys are subscribed and hit that notification bell so you are alerted to any of the uploads I have here on the channel, because they all build on how to create defenses that shut down these popular metas. Today, we're going to be talking about how to kind of understand what play is coming your way as it pertains this meta. One of the things that really makes this formation so hard to deal with is the presence of RPOs. These cheap motion style plays, these cheap wheel style plays, where the B receiver is going in motion constantly. And if you're not prepared or you don't know the tells of these plays, you're gonna be stuck in a position where you're constantly reacting too late. Allow me to explain here. One of the biggest issues with this game is that once an auto motion starts, and for whatever reason, this started happening as a result of the, I believe, September patch. When the auto motion began, you could not audible into a new play. You would see, I just tried to audible into man-to-man, and then we would still be stuck in the play that we were in. Now, if you guys are in a zone that's going to get beat by a wheel route, or a defense that's going to get beat by an RPO with auto motion, that's a really, really bad feeling. They used to have it in the game where you could even bring up your audible menu. You see right here, just for the record, I am in cover 4 quarters. And I've got cover 1 hole set as an audible, but as soon as I start the auto motion, if I bring up the other controller and try to audible, it does not change the defense into that defense, even though the menu acts like it did. So this leads to a lot of players being super confused, and it's one of the bigger drawbacks in the game currently. I really, really hope that this gets fixed, because it's a killer. In fact, I will tell you, I have reached out to some people at EA to let them know about this. I did so in September. I would fully anticipate whenever the next patch comes that this will be fixed, but for right now, it's an issue. So we have to be a little bit more proactive with the way that we approach defending this formation on defense. So what I want to do here is I want to alert you to something that I basically know is a tell, and you should know as well. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to come out in just a regular play from the bunch and take a look at things real quick here. So here we are with the play that has the motion. The motion hasn't begun yet, but you can see that there is a clear difference in how these formations align, namely the presence of the outside receiver on the bunch side of the formation. You see, when you guys have an auto motion play, the player that is going in motion tells you that he is an auto motion play. He lines up a little bit further off the ball. If you need any more evidence to see this tell, watch. I'm just going to audible into a regular play here, and look at how that B receiver rocks back into position on the line of scrimmage. This tell is super important for somebody that needs to defend this formation without audibling once that auto motion starts. You see, me personally, I have a defense I like against this formation, but once they go to that cheat wheel or the cheat RPO, and it basically tells me that that's what they're calling, I have a different defense that I like. But I can't get to it if that auto motion has started. As I just mentioned, if I try to audible, it keeps me in my original play, even though I just checked into Tampa 2, and you might have a blown coverage. So we have to be a little bit proactive, as I've already mentioned. So one of the things that I really like to do here is I like to play match against the cheat wheel. See, a lot of players will run a streak, and then they will just run this wheel route a lot of times to the wide side of the field. And if I'm stuck in quarters, it's not necessarily the worst case scenario, but a lot of times with this, they'll streak X, and then they'll have this little gap, and they'll throw this ball quick to this B receiver, and I hate that. So I don't want to have an outside quarter, because there's that quick pass element to this. So one of the things that I actually like is when I play defense on this game, I like to have cover 9, and I call this a lot. But let's say I don't want to call it out of the huddle, but it is something that is in my audible set. What I will oftentimes do is I will come out and have an audible set, maybe that looks something like this right here, where I have 2-man under, and then I'll have cover 2, cover 6, and cover 9. I really like this audible set in general, and then I'll come out in quarters or palms. So that way I have access to quarters, cover 6, cover 9, cover 2, and cover 2 man. They're all basically 2 high defenses that I can very quickly get between. But let's say I want to base out of quarters on this play, But my opponent comes out and I'm like, oh, dang, bunch to the short side of the field. Very high likelihood that they're going to cheat motion that guy to the wide side of the field because there's more room to throw. But also there's this direct tell of that player off the line of scrimmage further in this look than he would be in any other look. So this is where I say, let's hit cover 6 up, because I want that soft squat out there. That soft squat is going to do a pretty solid job at matching that wheel route. So you're going to see right here when we do this motion, look at how that player widens out. And now if I wanted to throw that wheel route, it's going to end up being swatted or intercepted when they go to throw that. But I have to be on top of that via the tell in the formation. You see, if I'm in quarters, they start this, they come out and they start this motion. I can't say, oh shoot, let's get to cover 6 right now, because now it's not. You see, it's still quarters and that B receiver was open for a hike throw. We can't have that. That's just not something that we can afford. Okay. Conversely, there is another cheap play in the bunch X nasty that a lot of players really like to run, and that is a hot routable RPO. What's up, guys? If you're enjoying the video, make sure you guys open up a tab and head over to my strategy website, gridirongameplans.gg. While I've been dropping absolute fire here on the YouTube channel over the last week, helping shut down this prominent meta in Madden, this information has been available for literally months on my strategy website. Gridiron Game Plans is the best place to get ahead of the curve well before anyone else knows what's going on in the game from a meta standpoint. We focus on what the top tier players in the game are doing, how it works, and how to counter it. A lot of times these counter metas become the new metas of the game. Take, for instance, that nickel wide defense that was very, very popular last month. That was a defense that we were running while everyone was running Texas stunts. We were out there running the Tom stunts and the Pirate stunts and all the different blitzes through the gaps out of the wide. And that ended up becoming the meta about a month and a half later, believe it or not. So again, make sure you guys go check it out. We got our vault content over there for you, well over 100 videos in our vault, live lab sessions that are archived on the website for you guys to watch at a later date if you can't attend live in our Discord. And we have all game plans included at no additional cost. So make sure you guys go check it out. Again, link in the description. So the other play that has this cheat motion that we have to be aware of is this hot routable motion RPO, as I just mentioned. So with this, what we want to kind of avoid is being in a situation where we're playing pure zone. For one, that cheat wheel is really good against that. And two, if somebody comes out and they just put these players on routes, a lot of times they'll just go ahead and cancel the RPO altogether, and they won't do this motion. So they'll just put something out on the field that looks like this, and then they'll snap the ball anticipating that those hook zones are going to like run commit. And a lot of times they'll just throw the ball right down the middle and rat catch it and run in for a touchdown. So really, really annoying to have to deal with this RPO. But guess what? That player on the outside is in that same spot. He's off the line of scrimmage. We're sitting here looking at this thinking, all right, this is cheap motion. I have a match play I like against it. It could be an RPO. If I play zone, the zones will run commit. We want to make sure that we're in something that isn't pure zone that's going to get beat by either of those two cheat motions. So in this particular instance, we could do maybe a couple of things. The first thing against the RPO is maybe just straight up playing a man-to-man. We audible into it because we're being told, hey, high likelihood of an RPO here. That way, when they go ahead and they try to hot route this and get your zones to run commit, you're going to have guys that are playing man-to-man. And if they hike throw it blind, you're going to end up being able to intercept it when they're anticipating zones that are going to be run committing. The other thing that you could do against this is, oh, be receiver off the line of scrimmage. Let's go ahead from a defensive point of view and audible into a match coverage that we like. Guess what? We're going to audible into cover 6, because if it's the wheel, we've already seen that the soft squat handles it. And if it's, you know, the RPO where they're glitching and throwing the ball straight up to the point man, we'll have a matching safety that will take it. So if they hot route it like so, we can actually guard this. Now, the only thing we have to be careful with on the backside is just, I need to guard the left one. The safety will guard the right one. So we see this look and we're thinking, could be cheat motion. I have cover 6 match that stops that. Could also be the RPO. If you think it's the RPO, you're going to want to make sure that you are playing the correct call. Now, again, we like cover 6 against this because if it's a cheap wheel, the soft squat takes it. If it's the hot routable RPO, all we really need to do with this is just kind of lurk on this safety. If they go to hike throw this here, you see that I can play that and pick it off myself. And the one on the left is actually matched, believe it or not. The other call that we could make on this is to play cover 9. In that case, if they hot route it all together, all I have to do is be here on the backside. If they want to try to go ahead and hike throw this to the X receiver, I just have to be right here. And you also see that that safety jumps down and is going to pick it off as well. So you've got help on both sides here, no matter if you call cover 6 or cover 9. So take a look here. Basically what we're getting at is that when you guys are dealing with this formation and you see this outside receiver off the line of scrimmage, we have to know what match coverage deals with the cheat wheel, and we have to know which match coverage cancels the RPO. In one case, we saw that cover 6 handles the cheat wheel, and if we user the safety on the right, cover 6 handles it. And we also see here that you could also call the cover 9 defense as well. The one thing that you have to be careful with cover 9, however, is the hooks on the right. So in other words, whether you call cover 6 or cover 9, you need to provide help to the right side, depending on what your shell is. You see right here, in this particular case, this is perfect. We've got the left side smothered in both RPO situations, cover 6 or cover 9. The right side is the one that you have to guard. So what I would do is, you see this guy off the line of scrimmage on the outside, cheat wheel, RPO, you call cover 6 or cover 9, and you use the right seam. You got both shut down. When that guy goes into motion, you've got the wheel handled, and you're well on your way to shutting down the gimmicky portion of the Bunch X Nasty offense. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you guys give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, check out gridirongameplans.gg. You will not be disappointed. Otherwise, we'll be right back here Monday with another video upload. Until then, this is Zan. Hit the lab and good luck.